Thank you for introduction of my background. I want to share with you a new journey that I have started. I've done two journeys. The first one was, we may call it scientification of tourism, when tourism was not considered seriously on university campuses. That was my first journey to make sure everybody knows that tourism has a scientific foundation behind it. My second journey is to find application for the knowledge that we are amassing in tourism. We have these silos of knowledge which are sitting there and nobody is using them effectively. So my presentation today is about transfer of knowledge to tourism, not just doing research. Here is the remote. The title of the talk was given to me by the conference itself, which I accepted willingly. And the subtitle is what I added to it. I want to tell you first about the industry itself, development of tourism as an industry. I make it very brief as a reminder to all of you. Then I want to tell you about development of tourism as a field of study. Next, I want to talk about mobility of tourism, intelligence or knowledge, which has not been really moving, and we have to start moving the knowledge from the fields of universities to the fields of practice. And finally, I want to talk about the unifying the tourism landscape, bringing bringing theory and practice together. Tourism as an industry, you all know that it has its long beginning from dark ages to the present time. It was sporadic actions that eventually became business and eventually became an industry. The word industry is used in North America and many other countries. In some countries, they call tourism a sector. So either sector or industry, the meaning is the same. And then tourism became a national goal, which went international and has become a global force. Today we learned about the number of tourists who come to Malaysia from other countries. But if you look at the global movement of international tourism, last year 1.4 billion arrivals happened internationally. If we stop there, we are not doing service to tourism, because international tourism is only 5% of tourism. 95% of it is not even mentioned. So we continue talking about international arrivals, 1.4 billion. I say, wow, that's a big number. The real big number is the 100%. So the governments and most other institutions forget about the domestic tourism. Just imagine the amount of domestic tourism in China alone, in India alone, in the United States alone. So 95% ignored, we always talk about the 5%. Today, tourism is an industry which has matured to have its own sectors, and you're all familiar with them: accommodations, restaurants, etc., etc., etc. And these sectors have become big enough to become sometimes named as an industry, transportation industry or transportation sector. Then we have tourism as a field of study. This is sort of newer than tourism itself. We started by giving diplomas, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and PhD, and all of that since the 20th century. Not the beginning of 20th century, middle of the 20th century. And few universities were doing tourism. Today, many of them are doing tourism. Few articles or books were published before. There are many now. and its evolution of tourism to be scientification of tourism. You're familiar with my articles maybe. Went from advocacy promoting tourism to adaptancy to cautionary wait. Tourism has problems of its own. We have to deal with these problems as well. And then knowledge-based. So the academization of tourism has its beginning from the middle of 20th century. I have to give due credit to Europe, which took leadership in tourism, hospitality and tourism. A country like Austria began tourism in 1903 at university level. Switzerland is doing wonderful with the practical applications, and so on and so forth. Europe has done wonderful things. All of these things are taking place to elevate the position of hospitality and tourism at university campuses, in university campuses. For the academization of tourism, in the United States, we give example of United States. There was no tourism studies before. Originally, it was leisure studies at universities. Then it was recreation, and then tourism was introduced. The first hotel course, hotel management course offered in the United States was 1922 at Cornell University. Then nothing happened until 1958. Michigan State University offered the first tourism course, and the first book of tourism came out. So things were slow in the case of academization of tourism. This is where I come into the picture now. At the beginning, I wanted to make tourism to be considered seriously. It has a scientific foundation. I wanted every campus to know that tourism is a field of a study, and it can have theories of its own. So I'm the one who caused the gap between theory, not me alone, a number of us. I just want to blame myself because I don't want to blame other people. So when I was academization of tourism, I created a gap. For example, I did Annals of Tourism Research. Well, it was successful in its mission, but it separated itself from the industry. Then I started International Academy for the Study of Tourism. Again, the same thing. Tourism, social science book series that I do, again, is theory. And Encyclopedia of Tourism, I try to put some industry in it, but it's more theory. So I am one of the few people who created the gap between theory and practice. But finally, I woke up and I said, well, we need to have application of the knowledge that we are warehousing. And that's how my second journey has begun. Sorry, it's going too fast. Publish and publish more has become the problem now in hospitality and tourism. There are more than 350 journals in hospitality and tourism. It's unbelievable. And new journals are being created every single year. Last year, there were 13,000 articles published in journals. 13,000 hospitality and tourism articles. Now, please stop for a minute and ask yourself, have you read 1% of the 13,000? You have not. This means 130 articles. Have you read 130 articles in 1 year? No. So why are we producing so much knowledge and warehousing it, collecting dust? So that is where the second journey began. Today, tourism research community has walled itself in a publisher environment. And the publishers love it because they know we have to publish. They come up with new journals, new opportunities, and so on and so forth. The industry and academia each has created a world of its own. They are not communicating with each other. Each one of them is playing a different kind of music, different dance. And they're muscling their way differently. Universities are proud of the citation index, and the industry with TripAdvisor's ranking. So this is two different things are happening at the same time. So it has created immobility of knowledge. Knowledge is there, but it's warehoused. It's not moving. It's not moving to the trade, to the tourism industry, hospitality industry itself. And I'm hoping to change that. Massification of tourism began at two grounds, as I already told you. As a market-driven industry, industry responds to the market, and universities respond to research. So they are going to two different ways, two different purposes. And this has resulted in a Grand Canyon between industry and universities, unfortunately. So here we have tourism beginning. Practice is going one way, and theory is going another way. And look at the gap in between. They are going two different ways. It's the same field, but it's branching. It's not breached. So the industry will go on its own, whether there is academic community or not. They will continue, and they have done so successfully. But do you think theory, academic can survive without the industry? If there is no industry, there would be no partner on the other side. So the dependence of the field of theory is on the practical aspects. So we have to we have to wake up to the reality that the industry is the one that should be benefiting from the theory, not theory for the sake of theory and going its own way. As such, we have a Grand Canyon of separation between the two, and it's really growing between theory and practice. And consequently, we have tourism, intelligence, immobility, warehouses, as I mentioned, or a huge bubble of knowledge. Time has come to bridge the two, so we make it one industry, one unified landscape. To unify, I have some recommendations for you individually and for us collectively. Okay. In other words, theory and practice has been already bridged. Think about medicine. Think about engineering. They are really well connected, the field of theory and practice. In hospitality and tourism, they are disconnected, not connected, unfortunately. In tourism, few bridges have been built to transfer knowledge. For example, UNWTO, its new name is UN Tourism. It has changed name during the course of the time. It was first IUTO, IUTUI, and it was based at the time in Switzerland. Then it moved to Madrid, changed name to WTO, changed name to UNWTO, and the new name is UN Tourism now. So they have done occasionally bridging, but not constructively, not continuously, sorry. WTO is World Travel and Tourism Council, PARA, TTRA, CATI of Australia, etc. They have given some attention to it, but there is no continuity. It's done, forgotten. So there is a need, a number of like-minded individuals decided to promote a two-way bridge. I don't know how to click on this now to show you a video. Can somebody help me? There's a video behind this link. Can you click it at there? The video would open. Now go down. Yeah, click on the first one here. Yes, this one. Enlarge it to the full screen. Thank you. And click on it. Well, we need the sound now.
Who studied all the surrounding mysteries and were educated in all the disciplines: geography, anthropology, psychology, economy. This region was known as Wise Land. Their watchful eyes were also directed towards other continents, so they discovered a land beyond the Western Sea, a land full of natural wonders like waterfalls, lakes, coral reefs, submarine life, forests. The continent was also rich in cultural and artistic heritage, ancient monuments, temples, libraries, museums. This region was known as Tourist Land. Be it for its beauty or for its cultural patrimony, this wonderland began to receive visitors from other kingdoms who spent their holidays there. The locals soon found the opportunity for business and development that tourism represented. Over the years, a new type of human developed. Not a magician, not a merchant, neither a peasant nor a craftsman. An easily recognizable stereotype, yet never seen before. The tourist. The wise men saw this humanoid spread and specialize, so they started to inventory and catalog the tourists by their preferences and the places they chose to visit. The sun, sand and sea tourist, the cultural tourist, the cycling tourist, the business tourist, the nature tourist, the gastronomic tourist, the spiritual tourist. Travel agencies and tour operators relentlessly brought tourists to tourist land, and the local merchants turned their houses into guest houses and built pubs, restaurants, theatres, amusement parks, discotheques, so the tourist could stay, eat and have fun. Tourist land flourished and prospered, but unplanned tourist activities led to some troubles, such as overcrowding, pollution, inflation and seasonality. Merchants looked for solutions beyond their borders. One day, they crossed glances with the scholars. As a result of that, they started a fruitful collaboration which would be the solution to all the problems of tourist land. Innovative solutions emerged, and new tourism models that were more responsible, efficient, profitable, and sustainable were created. A bridge was built to unite both territories. Over this bridge, they built a forum which would bring together the theory and the practice of tourism. And they called it T-Forum. T-Forum, bridging theory and practice.
Thank you very much.
Once upon a time, there was a land inhabited by wise people.
Move it beyond that. Sorry. No more. Just go back to a slide presentation. So this is a group of us started with that thinking in beginning of 2010, and we created an, I don't want to call it association, an institution that its job is to transfer knowledge to and within tourism, which we call it T-Forum. Organizationally, we started, our first meeting was in, those individuals, a small number of us, in 2012, 13, etc. And then we had our first conference in 2015 in Italy, 2018 in Spain, 2020 Portugal, then COVID came and everything was paralyzed, and now we are ready to do our 2026 in Malta. And this is a group of 10 institutions that joined forces to create this institution called T-Forum from Asia, Latin America, Europe, and North America. The mission is transfer of knowledge to and within tourism. The structure is dealing with destinations, with academic community, with the government, and with the host. We don't want to leave anybody out. Again, it's all about transfer of knowledge. simply to unifying the academic and the industry, bridging theory and practice. Again, remember those 13,000 articles last year that are not doing anything. So we want to bring some of that theory into the field of practice so that the industry would benefit from it. We produce biannual conferences, T Intelligence, T Bridges. It's a journal that we are going to start. It will be very practical journal based on research. T Books, we already published a couple, and T Archives. Assisting in T Forum conferences at regional. Eventually, T Forum will have branches in other countries, and we will assist them to do the job at national levels. We are establishing two-way sabbatical bridge. In other words, the industry executives come to university campuses and teach for a semester. They do have a PhD, that's 30 years of experience, so they're qualified to teach. And the professors who go on sabbatical leave do not go to another campus, go to the industry for the sabbatical leave. That's what we are trying to do. And we have already introduced the first position. A colleague from the Academia of Spain goes to Malta to work in the industry. So we will be offering that opportunity beginning next year to more than one person. The matrix of tourism intelligence is like this. It's not just constant. It's like, for example, business to business, business to sector, etc. We will be dealing with all of these matters, so all of the partners, players would benefit from it. This is our first office that we started in Italy. Myself. Jeffrey Lipman, who was the first president of World Travel and Tourism Council, and our partner in Italy. But we have moved it now to Malta. The headquarters is in Malta. I don't know, it's not getting orders from me. There we go. We should do some of these things, and many universities are doing that, but not all of them. So please pay attention to some of the recommendations I have for you, whether you're an industry person or academic person, and ask yourself, am I doing this or can I do this? Join forces with the group. Universities, please. To entice industry executives to co-teach short courses. Some universities do that, but not too many. To invite professionals to spend their sabbatical leave teaching. For the whole semester, an industry person comes to the university and teaches. Remember that hospitality and tourism is a practical field. It's not a theory field only. To have them on board as professional professors, give them a title, executive professors or clinical professors. Some universities are already doing that. To appoint 50% plus industry people in your advisory board. There are very few industry people on the advisory board on many occasions. To teach hands-on, minds-on courses, human touch versus IT or AI type of thing. You know, we have to realize that hospitality is a people-to-people service. To give credit to applicants who have practical experience, not just good grades. Most universities look at the good grades only, but that's not enough for entering hospitality and tourism. To promote the art of writing short applied articles. We academicians cannot write in simple language. That is our problem. We have to confess it. And we cannot write short articles. It has to be 9,000 words. So we have to learn to, in Spanish, they say, menos es más. Less is more. And we have to learn that art. The industry does not have the time to read 9,000 words. Think about it. It has to be 500 words. Now, professors, what can you do if you're a professor? To spend sabbatical leaves in the industry, not on another campus. Armchair professor, you understand what I mean by armchair professor, those who don't move, to co-teach with industry people. To participate in industry-based conferences. If you're a professor here, ask yourself, how many industry-based conferences have I gone to? 0, maybe 1. To publish short papers for industry professionals. We don't do that. We should start doing that. To list practical articles when applying for promotion for tenure retention. It's very important to acknowledge the industry connection. To include applied articles in your CV, we only include the academic journal articles. And to tally practical exposures, real-world experience. How many professors have real-world experience and teaching hospitality and tourism? I recall talking to someone who was teaching a luxury hotel course, luxury accommodation. And in the conversation, I realized he had never stayed in a luxury hotel, and he was teaching it. So we have some professors like that, disconnected from the reality of hospitality and tourism. To publish articles in other languages. We always confine ourselves to English. Now, students, to list applied articles in your CV. No, not only I publish in Annals or Tourism Management or Journal of Travel Research. You mention your applied articles as well. I don't know which way I should hold this. Now you tell me. Thank you. To include the prior experience in the field, to include a short 500-word practical chapter at the end of the thesis. The thesis that we write at the university level has introduction, literature review, methodology, etc., and conclusion. I'm suggesting that there would be another piece at the end, 500 words, application of knowledge. You wrote 200 pages of your thesis. Now tell me very briefly what we can do with this knowledge that you have created. Armchair students to have boots on the ground. This is very important. We were talking with Switzerland colleagues today, and they require being in the field. Many universities do that, but all of them should be doing that if they are teaching hospitality and tourism. To publish the applied articles in other languages. We have many, I learned here that we have about 50% international students on this campus. So they logically speak a different language. So they write a thesis in English, and that's the end of it. Well, the same thing could be written in an applied language of 500 words in the mother tongue and published in their own country. College administrators, to nurture the above measures. If you don't do it, it's not going to happen. To examine how other fields have closed the gap of bridging theory and practice. Look at medicine, look at engineering. There are lessons to be learned. to investigate how other fields value alternative skills for hiring, retention, and promotion. Let me explain on that. On campuses, we teach music, theater, cinema, art. Do they publish as much as we publish? No. Do they become professors? Yes. How? Let's find out how they become professors, and we can use some of that technique on our campuses. To assign values for applied articles for engagement in the industry. So all of these players have to play their part to connect theory and practice in the field of tourism. Well, you may say that I'm placing too much emphasis on practice. I wasn't doing that for years and years when I was promoting scientification of tourism. But my new journey is application of knowledge. And I want to tell you that application of knowledge has been always with us, and sometimes we forget about it. Let's see yesteryear what they said about application of knowledge. Intelligence consists not only of knowledge, but also of the ability to apply knowledge in practice. That's a few thousand years ago was said, and now we are saying it for hospitality and tourism. Let's go for Chinese wisdom. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. So hospitality and tourism is very much that, to be involved in the field of practice. If you think these are the ideas of yesteryear, let's go to today. It's a poem by a Sicilian poet. Think in terms of tourism as you read this. If you want to know your thoughts of yesterday, look at yourself today. Now read this with tourism in mind. If you want to know how you will be tomorrow, have a look at yourself, at your thoughts and action of today. If we look at our actions of today, I'm not a prophet, but I bet that next year, 15,000 articles will be published in journals. 2 years from now, 17,000 articles. So we are just moving in that direction. And he's saying that in a beautiful way, that we are making the future now, and that future has to be changed and bridged. Theory and practice have to be bridged. So T Forum has accepted this mission, and I invite you to participate, join forces with us. You are invited to join T Forum if you wish, and we are going to have our conference in Malta in 2000. You see, I'm doing what you told me to do, but it's very hard to bridge tourism theory and practice. So the T Forum is all about transfer of knowledge to and within tourism. We have brought a lot of knowledge from other fields of tourism. The problem is that I quote you and you quote me in your articles, and we are circulating the same knowledge. Nothing new is coming in and is piling up. So we have to change that for the benefit of theory, for the benefit of the industry. We have to make our students to feel obligated that they have to serve the tourism industry in many ways, theoretically and in practical way. So I hope you join me on this new journey. We managed to make tourism acceptable on hospitality and tourism acceptable on campuses. We have done a job well done, and now it's our turn to make it applied and to help the tourism industry. I don't want to ask for a show of hands. I wonder how many industry people are sitting here. Would be very few, if any. Go to an industry association meeting. I wonder how many academic people are sitting there. Zilch, nothing. So it's a gap, it's a huge gap. And we call it tourism industry. We are supposed to be together. So please join forces, and thank you very much to the world that we would like to make.